welcome to Momo Talks Watches. This is Momo. Today we'll be talking about the Rolex Datejust 41 126334 Wimbledon. The Rolex Datejust is one of the most, if not the most important models for the brand. One might say that the Datejust is the essence of a Rolex. Simple, reliable, rock solid, very well made, with a classic and truly timeless design. After all, out of all its models, the Datejust is the most sold model. And in that collection, there are different Datejust variations, one of which is the Datejust 41. The Datejust 41 is the ultimate all-around timepiece combining sportiness with elegance, probably making it one of the best Rolex watches for everyday use. The Rolex Datejust 41 126334 Wimbledon is one of the watches in the Datejust collection that truly stand out. This Datejust is elegant as it is with its slim case, white gold fluted bezel, and Oyster or Jubilee bracelet. But the specific Wimbledon dial is something else. Some technical specs to note: the case is 41mm in diameter. It's steel with flat polished bezel or white Oyster steel with 18K white gold for the fluted bezel, sapphire crystal with AR coating, Cyclops lens over the date, water resistant to 100 meters. The movement is caliber 3235. It's mechanical with automatic winding, 70-hour power reserve, 28,800 vibrations per hour, 31 joules, hours, minutes, seconds, and instantaneous date. The bracelet is Oyster 3-piece bracelet or Jubilee 5-piece bracelet. It's Rolex patented EasyLink rapid extension system. The reference is 126334, slate gray sunburst style with fluted bezel and Jubilee bracelet with green Roman numerals. The thickness is 8.9 millimeters. The Rolex Datejust was introduced in 1945. The Datejust at the time was a milestone in watchmaking innovation, combining a date function with a self-winding movement that is also a chronometer and waterproof. The first Rolex Datejust was introduced for the 40th anniversary of Rolex, and the first Datejust was reference 4467. The innovation of a date window at 3 o'clock has had a significant impact on the watch market, and now you see that countless of other brands have taken notice, as nowadays it has become the norm. At the beginning, the Datejust was only available in yellow gold. Then in following years, Rolex also released the Datejust in rose gold, steel, or two-tone. And despite the fact that the Datejust was released more than 70 years ago, the watch is still quite similar in the modern versions. Sure, they may have been improved for better reliability, better quality, and to meet the size ideals of today, but at its core they are very similar. This just goes to show how timeless the Datejust design really is. The characteristic Cyclops over the date window was actually not released until 1955, which is 9 years after its launch. Over the years, Rolex has released countless of dial variations for the Datejust, and slightly different models and references. But despite this, the Datejust has always been a three-handed watch with a date window at 3 o'clock. It's safe to say that it has remained faithful to the original, because Rolex simply does not change a winning concept, only refine it. Now that we have a little background on the Datejust, let's focus on the model we're here for. To begin, the name Wimbledon simply refers to the type of Datejust dial. This dial has become immensely popular over the years, mainly because it's a lovely dial, but also because of the history behind it. Since the Wimbledon is just a dial, you can find it in a few different Datejust versions. All of them, however, are in the Datejust 41 range. But it is only the variant made in steel and with a white gold bezel that has the reference 126334. The Datejust 126334 is a 41mm Datejust which features a fluted bezel made in white gold. Since all Datejust models can feature either Oyster or Jubilee bracelet, this can also vary with the Wimbledon. Now let's take a closer look at the Datejust 41 reference 126334. The Rolex Datejust 126234 is the updated version of the previous reference 116334. For the new reference, the movement is slimmer as well as the lugs. This has given a more slender shape which enhances the comfort of wearing it. As the model name suggests, the watch has a diameter of 41 millimeters, but because the watch does not feature bulky lugs like other Rolex sports watches and is instead very slimmed, it wears relatively small. The 126334 features the caliber 3235, offering improvements in terms of precision, resistance to shocks and magnetic fields, upgraded power reserve, now offering 70 hours. The movement features the chronology escapement, and the balance wheel is fitted with the parachrome hairspring, a paramagnetic alloy exclusive to Rolex. It is regulated within tolerances of plus or minus 2 seconds per day, or more than twice that required of an official chronometer. When the Datejust 41 was introduced, it replaced the predecessor Datejust 2, and the big news when this happened was that the Jubilee bracelet was reintroduced. Previously, the Datejust 2 was only available with an Oyster bracelet. Because of the comfort that the Jubilee bracelet offers and the pure class that it radiates, the Datejust 126334 with Jubilee bracelet and Wimbledon dial is actually the most popular Datejust model in production and writing moment. When it comes to the bracelet, both the Jubilee and the Oyster bracelet features the folding Oyster clamp with EasyLink 5mm comfort extension link. You'll be surprised at how versatile the 126334 really is. While it was originally made as a classy dress watch with the gentleman, the modern Datejust has become so much more versatile. And in our opinion, the 126334 is one of the best Rolex watches to wear every single day. Because no matter on which occasion, the watch simply works. From a dress watch point of view, you have a classy, elegant, slim profile watch that is discreet yet beautiful. This allows the watch to slip under a cuff without any problems. From a sports point of view, you have a strong steel case with a 100-meter water resistance and luminous hand. Then, of course, you also have the 41mm case with a larger and sportier than the traditional 36mm case. This should really be the best of both worlds. Furthermore, the dial colors of the 41 makes it easy to match with a suit. Let's look closer at the Wimbledon dial. After all, this is what makes it special. At its core, it's only a Datejust. As you know, Rolex never really released any limited editions and rarely releases special editions. But what they do, however, is make something new and then market the particular watch in association with something, continuing to push the association of two things. If you look at Rolex's website, you won't see the name Rolex Datejust Wimbledon. Instead, it is the collectors who have given the dial type that name. Now, when you look at the dial, you can assume that the green color details in the dial are intentional in order to make it slightly tennis-inspired as a reference to the green fields of Wimbledon. Of course, it's not a coincidence that the Rolex introduces the Wimbledon dial and promotes it together with the tennis tournament. Instead, it is a very carefully thought out process. But what is so interesting is that other brands would have promoted the new model as the Wimbledon Special Edition or similar, but not Rolex. In Rolex's words, it's simply a regular Datejust 41. This is an example of subtle marketing, which Rolex does really well, and it seems to work as well because people love the Wimbledon dial. The Datejust 41 Wimbledon got its name from the legendary tennis tournament because of Rolex's close relationship with it. Rolex has been an official partner and timekeeper since 1978. This marked the beginning of a privileged association between two partners driven by the pursuit of excellence. Again, to point out, the reference 126334 is not the only reference with the Wimbledon dial. For example, the watch in this picture also shows a Wimbledon dial, but the reference is 126333 because it's made in two-tone and has a smooth bezel. The Wimbledon Datejust 41 126334 features a slate dial, white gold fluted bezel, and black Roman numerals edged in luminous green. This nod to Wimbledon is also relevant for Rolex as well since it is the brand's signature color. At its core, the dial is a rhodium dial, and you can see many similarities between this and the full rhodium dial. The dial is the distinctive face of a Rolex watch, the feature most responsible for its identity and readability. Characterized by hour markers fashioned from 18CT gold to prevent tarnishing, every Rolex dial is designed and manufactured in-house, largely by hand to ensure perfection. It's safe to say that the green details of the watch truly makes it stand out and gives it a fun and unique twist. A regular single-colored dial Datejust is nice, but it can become boring after a while. Like you would expect from a Rolex watch, the Datejust 41 126334 is perfect when it comes to building quality. While it is slim and elegant, it feels solid and robust. You can really feel that this is a watch that can be passed down to generations. When you think of a Rolex Jubilee bracelet, you may think of the old Rolex Datejust Jubilee bracelets that are loose and makes a 180-degree turn if you lift it up. The new Jubilee bracelet is nothing like that. It's solid, robust, yet is extremely comfortable to wear. The watch has a twin lock screw-down crown to ensure its water resistance. Both the crystal and cyclops are made in-house to assure quality and integrity. That's all I have for today. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Please stay tuned for more of Momo Talks Watches. Thank you.